Hello, Robbie Susan Chandler here from Robbie Susan's Cards and Crafts. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Quincy, Florida, right outside Tallahassee, Florida. Today I'm sharing a card with you made with the Frosted Forest bundle. And this bundle includes a set of masks that three of them make this tree, and the other three put together would make this tree, and a stamp set. And this was for the tree we're going to do today. It also has a smaller tree, and that was the other tree I just showed you. And then it has these dies, and it's a nice set of dies. You have this little lacy one here, and a tree limbs to go under it. Let's see if I can get these loose. I think it's just one. There we go. Those two pieces. And then we have a little Christmas tree die. And you can see all the dies here. There's a string of three hooked together that's nice. And then here's the smaller one. And then this is the bigger one that goes around that. That's the lacy one I showed you. And there's some bird stamps on this set right here. So it's a pretty nice set. It's an online exclusive. You won't see it in the catalog. And the bundle number is 164137. And in the United States, it's $64.75. Just the masks themselves are $15, and that number is 164350. But I'll have links to all the supplies down below my video. So let's take a look at how to put this card together. There's several things I'm going to show you in this video. One is how to use the mask, but another is how to make a sparkly background or make some glimmer paper for background or die cuts, whatever you want some sparkly paper for. So we're going to do that first, and we're going to start with just this plain sheet of basic white, and this piece is 4 by 5.5. And to make this glittery, I have discovered from another demonstrator I saw online that you can take glycerin, and this one I just bought off Amazon, but just glycerin, and you can put it in a bottle or just how you want to use it, and mix it with Stella. You see I've got some on here now. Let's put a little bit more. And you can just squeeze your Stella onto your block to get some shimmer and glitter going there. And then squeeze a little bit, not much, it doesn't take much, but a little bit of glycerin on there. Oh, I just got some on my hand, but I hear it's really good for, if you notice on here it says versatile skincare. So, hey, we'll see. So you just kind of mix it up with the brush. You can see it's shining already. Let me get that one over there. And you just swipe it across your paper. And you don't want to put a whole lot because it will take a while to dry. But you just swipe it. Let me bring this up close. Can you see that shimmer on there? I think it's really pretty, the look it adds. You know, and you can put as much as you want. The more Stella you put in your glycerin, the shinier it's going to be. Now, some of you may remember the old pots we had of this all-purpose ink. This works very well in it too, but I didn't know how many of you might have that. But you see how shiny that is? I hope that picks up in the light. So, all right, so that's the way I got the shimmer on my background. And once I got that shimmer, I embossed it with the Snowflake Sky embossing folder. And this is one you have to use our gray plate with. Can you see the shimmer in that? I think it's so pretty. All right, and also it softens up your paper, so you get a really good emboss with it. And I like using the glycerin better. I used to use alcohol and spray it on there, but it kind of makes, well, in fact, it did this one. It makes it curl a little bit. You see how my front curled? I did this one before I knew about the glycerin, and I just don't like that curl look that it does. All right, so let's look at our other pieces. So now that we know how to do that front background piece, I used shaded spruce, 8.5 by 5.5, scored it in 4 1/4. So this is our card base, and inside I had this white piece that's 4 by 5.5, and I stamped shaded spruce in here, and the tree came off that stamp set I showed you. This one, tree came from here, and my sentiment came from Sophisticated Sled, and that is that's also an online exclusive. It says, "Let's decorate the season with happiness." Well, that's where the other sentiment came from. So that, now I want to show you, you see I did a little Wink of Stella on that tree. Let me show you what happens when you stamp a tree and put some Wink of Stella on it. As you color it, the green starts spreading. So basically you end up coloring in what was a white tree becomes green, which I think is pretty cool because I liked the idea of the green tree anyway. So just spray a little more Wink of Stella down here on this. So my white spruce has now become a green spruce. So that's a little tip with Wink of Stella. Okay, so let's look at some more pieces. Okay, so I have already glued this glittery snowflake piece to the front. And then we have these two pieces. This is a piece of shaded spruce that's 5 1/4 by 1 3/4. And this piece comes from the Graceful Greenery Vellum, and it's 5 1/4 by 1 1/2. So like I said, this is from the Graceful Greenery Vellum, and I want to show you that paper. It's really beautiful paper. And see, here's the name of it, Graceful Greenery. And here's some of the sheets, the 3 designs that are in it. One is these spruce limbs. One looks like this. And then here's the one that I used. It's really pretty, and it's another online only product, and its number is 164118. So what I did, I adhered these two together. All right, I glued these two together. What I did, I put my glue, and I'll show you on this one, I put my glue right here behind this area because I knew the circle was going to go on top of that. So I glued that down and I put my ribbon on it. And here's the first step. Here I've put it down on the front of my card. And the next step are these circles that I cut with Spotlight on Nature. And I cut one out of shaded spruce and one out of our white glitter paper, which is in this pack, and it's called Berry Burst Old Olive and White Glimmer Specialty Paper, and I used the white sheet in here. So when you put those together, you have this circle that goes right on top. That's out of the way. Okay, and then I also punched, this is retired unfortunately, but I punched the double ovals, or you could just cut your 2 ovals or 2 circles and put my Merry Christmas up here. Now this Merry Christmas came from Regal Reindeer, which I love that one. And it's retired, but it fits perfectly there, and I'm sure you can find a sentiment that would fit. So here's our front, got it finished, and our inside. Now it's time to make our tree using the mask. Okay, let's learn how to use the mask from the Frosted Forest set and learn to make the Christmas tree. So in this video we'll do the Christmas tree, where in my other video I did the pine looking tree. But the first step is I used Mossy Meadow and stamped the outline of the tree, and I've done that on this piece of paper. And then you want to tape it down to your grid paper. Now this is mask number 1. Actually it's A. These are lettered A, B, C. The other set is 1, 2, 3. And you want to line it up so the outline of the tree is showing right through the hole, and that looks pretty good right there. Okay, so we want to tape this down, and after you tape it down, you need to take a pen and mark the registration marks over here. That little notch is the clue to how to line up the other mask when it comes time to use them. Alright, so for my first one, I decided to start with shaded spruce. And you just swish it around, and you can go as dark or light as you want. I actually like my tree kind of dark. So I'm going to darken it up, and that looks pretty good. Okay, and if you want to take a peek to see how it's going, you can just lift the edge up and see that looks pretty good there. All right, so that's my shaded spruce. That's letter A. Let's get it out of the way. Now remember, keep your other piece taped down so you'll know where to put your next mask. So let's go to mask B. Now if things work like they should, you should be able to line up those registration marks, and it should line up, and you know what, it's doing just about perfect this time. You never really know. This time you'll notice that you'll have a lot of white showing. So you're covering up the green that you've just brushed on there. Now I'm going to add garden green. So let's get our brush nice and inky and just start swishing around. And I'm using one of the old style pads because I have misplaced my new one. I do not know where it is. I probably loaned it to someone. But anyway, the old pad works just as well. It's the same color. So as they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So here we go with the garden green. I hope I'm not shaking the table too much. Don't want to get you seasick. All right, let's take a peek. And that looks pretty good. Can you see that right there? All right, I'm gonna swish one more time up here at the top. Okay, so that's our garden green. Now I wanted my tree to be snowy looking. So for the third, or the C mask, I decided to use our craft white, which is this one. And here is our next mask, and it's just kind of little holes that either you could add another color, or we're going to add some snow. So that looks pretty good right there. Yeah, the masks are lining up great today. Hooray, hooray. All right. Now, our craft white is very, very thick and slow to dry. So what I'm doing, I'm going to put the white ink on it, and you don't have to put a lot. As you can tell, my pad's come turned green from using it, but it's okay. So I'm just going to add some spots here and there. And you don't need a lot because the embossing powder will stick like crazy to these. Okay, put a little bit right over there. All right, I think we got it. That looks good. Okay, let's close this up. Get this mask out of the way. All right, you see our white areas there? Take this off. All right, so you see the white there, and that looks, you know, that looks nice there by itself. But I think I want to put some white embossing powder on it to brighten it up some. You see how that powder sticks to that craft white? I mean, it sticks good. Now I'm not going to go over to the heat gun and heat this up because I've already heated one up. So here it is. Now one thing I did add, I came in, now the white embossing powder is a little bit shiny, but I decided I wanted my snow shinier. So I went in with Wink of Stella and smeared it all over my little white embossing powder places. And that pretty, it really gave it a good shimmer there. So let's put this down. Oh, and once you heat this, you get this heated up, there is a die that cuts this out. So you just run over to your Big Shot or cut and emboss machine, and that's how this got cut out. You don't have to fussy cut it. There's a die for that. Thank goodness, huh? All right, so here we go. Let's just put our tree down right here on this card. And this is a completed card using the Frosted Forest stencils die stamp set. I hope you like this card and will make it yourself. I think it's a very pretty Christmas card. I'm sure anyone would love to receive this card. Please like my video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And I'd love to be your demonstrator, and I'd love for you to be on my team. So until next time, happy crafting.